All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Michael Franco Jr. Welcome to my channel. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified of when I'm going to do more live streaming. It is 12:23 a.m. I could not sleep because I have too many things on my mind and too many things to do. As you guys know, I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own business. I do graphic design. I teach as well. I teach I teach graphic design for MVP. But I wanted to go over a few things that happened to me today. I went to church. I went to service. We have Bible study on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays at Balm of Gilead Global Ministries. My pastor is well versed in the Bible. He has been instrumental as well as my wife. They both have been instrumental in drawing me to God, to Jesus Christ. So, with that being said, I am back on my studies and learning a whole lot about a lot of things about history, not only the Bible, but the history and things that happened. And I've always said one thing, and I even put it in one of my songs. I used to do music, I used to rap, but I even put it in my one of my songs, saying, basically talking about the devil and saying he's been setting traps for over 6,000 years. You 20 or 30 years thinking you smarter than he is. Okay, so no matter if you 20, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, we've been living in a trap for over 6,000 years. So I wanted to discuss what that as a thing, and then also go over an article that I just read. One of the things that my pastor introduced me to was this movie called Beautiful Mind about John Nash. It was an amazing movie. I watched it tonight as soon as he talked about it because I'm a big movie buff, and if I haven't seen the movie, I gotta go see it. So right now it's like $3.99 on YouTube. So I went ahead and rented it. So watched it. I'll probably watch it again for the next 48 hours and get some more analyzation out of it because when I watch movies, I analyze movies. I've been really into a lot of these. Um, I've been watching Power. That's driving me crazy. I've been watching Power, just seeing how seeing the dynamics of that situation and being smart and playing chess. Chess moves. So that's a real interesting show about making moves. I know it has a lot of things that I shouldn't probably be watching, but it's everything that happens, everything that I watch. Um, I look at it from a perspective of um, God. Period. Looking at I look at things from a perspective of how God would see them, and so I watched that. I watched For Life, which is an amazing story about Isaac Wright. 50 is killing the game right now. But it was an amazing story about Isaac Wright, who got falsely imprisoned under the Kingpin law and actually became a lawyer while he was in prison, uh, and ended up getting out of prison. And actually, what did he say? That song, I fought the law and the law won. Not this time. He fought the law and he won. So, and then look at the corruption and all of that type of stuff that's in that has been being done by a lot of the lawyers, of the judges, just corruption in the people who are supposed to, or who are not, who are supposed to be there to help us. I see a lot of corruption in the people who are supposed to be there to serve justice. And So this has been going on for a long time, a long time. So I wanted to go over this article that I just read. It's on two different websites. Um, it was so, so I watched Beautiful Minds, and Beautiful Minds was just amazing. It was about uh, a guy called John Forbes Nash. John Forbes Nash was a mathematician. He won the Nobel Prize. Matter of fact, let me look him up. I'm live right now, so if you wanted to chat, um, you can go ahead and leave your comments in the chat, and we can discuss any of these things, or hit the like and subscribe button. I know it's 12 o'clock midnight, so whoever is up watching my channel, there was been no warning, so I just decided to do this on a whim. Um, so, but I wanted to look up John Forbes Nash and share some information about him. Forbes Nash Jr., American mathematician. Okay, according to Wikipedia, I'll probably even read the Encyclopedia Britannica about him. But John Forbes Nash was an American mathematician who made a fundamental contributions to game theory, differential geometry, and the study of partial differential equations. John Nash's work has provided insight to the factors that govern chance and decision making inside complex systems found in everyday life. Okay, so one of the things that I got from the movie John Nash, because I tend to challenge philosophies. I always challenge philosophies, and some of the philosophies that he challenged, it seemed like one of the guys said, "So you mean to?" And this has also happened in Power. He said, "You mean to You mean you want to challenge 150 year of philosophy or of theories? Basically, you have these like just like the uh, it's just like the theoretical physicists. Uh, they come up with these philosophies, and they can be completely wrong. But since they came up with the philosophy and had nobody refute the philosophy for 150 years, it becomes fact or law until somebody comes up and refute the philosophies and actually make sense about it. And then they end up winning a Nobel Peace Prize for showing that this person that everybody who thought was a genius, or really, really, really intelligent, found out that they were completely wrong and not as intelligent as everybody made them out to be. So I saw that in Power, and I also saw that in A Beautiful Mind. And then I think about the word schizophrenic, and because they tried to say that in the movie that John Forbes Nash was schizophrenic because he saw things that other people could not see, um, which is really interesting because if everybody who uh, saw things that other people could not see, there's a thing as there's a such thing as angels and demons, and there's a such thing, there's a spiritual realm that we live in, and but everybody was not going to see that. So if we labeled everyone who sees it or who experiences something like that schizophrenic, or someone who has a gift schizophrenic, then a lot of the world would be schizophrenic, and they would be put on medication to suppress uh, things that God has allowed them to see. And it's gonna be, it's not as good as what you think it's going to be. Um, so I wanted to get into reading this. Um, Fish So in reading and in learning about John Nash, I wanted to see if he was related to anything to Nelson Nash. Nelson Nash just passed away uh, in 2019, March 31st of 2019, and Nelson Nash was a very brilliant guy. He came up with the infinite banking concept, which is a concept that I'm studying right now for my business. I'm studying, about building wealth, and and so he's a very spiritual. He's very basically a Christian. He's a Christian man, and very open about that. But I wanted to read this article, which is very interesting, and it pertains to being in a 6,000-year-old system. And it's called The Fish Are Last to Notice the Water. Okay, so I'm going to read this for you guys. It's very interesting. It's called The Fish Are Last to Notice the Water. It can be found on Nelson Nash's website, infinitebanking.org, or it can be found on A Free Man's Perspective at freemansperspective.com. Or freemansperspective.com /fish last notice water /. Okay. So I'm going to read this, and you can tell me what you get from it. I got a lot of great things from it. So it says, I ran into this phrase in a physics lecture of all places. I knew it would be the title of my next article. And this is generally a true statement. Those who are immersed in something, who have always been immersed in it, are the last to see what it really is. By now, it should be obvious to the people of the West that they're being held in primitive bondage. And fortunately, more eyes are opening to this than ever before. But still, most people are so used to this particular water and have so long acclimated themselves to it that they haven't recognized it. There's nothing inherently wrong with most of these people. They just haven't stepped back far enough to see the obvious. So let's do that. All right. The long view. A single model of human life has dominated the West for thousands of years. We've covered this carefully in the subscription letter 1, but I can summarize by saying this rulership model began to form about 5400 BC. Uh, dominated dominated Mesopotamia by about 4000 BC, took hold in Egypt by about 3000 BC, and spread over the rest of the world from there. So it has dominated for some 5,000 or 6,000 years, depending on which dates you prefer. Now, I remember I saying about 6,000 years. I said that before ever reading this. I said, he's been setting traps for over 6,000 years. You 20 or 30 years thinking you're smarter than he is. So I said that way before I read this article. So, all right. Uh, this model is so common that it's hard to make it out at first. Here are its parts. A small minority of men hold a monopoly on making rules everyone else will live by. This minority enforces these rules on everyone else. The minority extracts regular payments from everyone else. Uh, this is said to be necessary for protection and justice. The minority fails to provide justice on a daily basis and very often sends the children of the majority to fight in battles to the death. A minority aligned electoral class ensures that ensures the majority that this is the best that can be had, and it has been sanctified by some higher power, gods, ancestors, tradition, reason, experience, progress, or whatever. And progress is one of the things that we're going to talk about too. No one is permitted to escape this model. Those who try are punished as traitors and heretics. This is the primary model of the human organization and has been for some 5,000 years. And aside from arguing over details or fury over the audacity to say it, there's no real challenge to this statement. Moreover, this model has been an abject failure, a demonstrable failure. Wars have continued throughout its entire reign. Justice have never been achieved and generally came closest in places away from power centers. Human happiness is not noticeably increased. Even when science has broken out, it has been recaptured and forced to serve the model. The internet, for example. On top of that, this model has to be maintained by force. As noted above, straying from it is harshly punished. If this system was truly superior, force wouldn't be required. After all, we don't have to force people to buy houses or cars. So, by any number of measurable standards, if this model fails and very, very badly, the best defense one might take for for it is that something else could be worse. What does that sound like? But since we're not permitted to test that assertion, the word bondage is perfectly fitting. At a bare minimum, we can say this. Any system with no major upgrade in 5,000 years must be considered hopelessly obsolete, moribund, and degenerate. This is where we stand today, and it is crucial we help our fellows see it. How do we make them see it? Okay. First off, we cannot make people see, and truthfully, they generally see it quite well on their own. What they lack is inner strength to acknowledge what they see. It is not intellectual strength that most people lack, it's emotional strength. And so you have to be slow and gentle if you want success. Rigorous intellectual arguments are not enough. In many cases, they're counterproductive. In the end, the way to help our friends and neighbors is downright biblical. Plant seeds, wait for them to germinate, and water them, show kindness, love, and shine light on their path. It doesn't matter if this sounds hokey to you or if you'd rather engage in brilliant arguments. This is what works. So decide what you really want for your friends and neighbors to see or for you to win. The fish need faith to imagine a dry shore, and they're not going to get it from intellectual badgering. And this is reprinted from the Freeman's perspective. Okay, so to bring that into today's society, I look at this not only the presidential election, but the reaction of the people uh, to the not only the presidential election, but the reaction of the people to uh, the president themselves and all the presidents that have existed. Um, I've been seeing a trend, and right now I've been hearing I've been seeing that presidents have the tendency to lie and make it sound good. Uh, and I think that's what's going on right now. I think we may have a problem with streaming right now. It's saying YouTube error not receiving. Okay, so you will experience buffering. Open widget. Error warning. Stream is healthy. No data. Stream health. Okay, so I'm my streaming is not working very well. So I'm gonna have to see what I have to do to fix that. If you guys can see me or hear me and I'm not buffering, um, leave something in the chat. Remember to like and subscribe. I hope you guys got. Okay, so we're back at the warning again. Please check the resolution. Current resolution is 852 by 48, which is not optimal. Okay, so let me bring the resolution down. Let me see. Good connection. Okay. So we have a good connection now. Okay, so it looks like everything is good right now. All right, so I wanted to I wanted to go over a lot of this stuff and talk about the presidential election. So people forget the things that were happening before Donald Trump became president. I am not a fan of Donald Trump at all. Uh, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden either. I'm not, I listen to a lot of the stuff that's been going on. Um, so I'm fans of neither one of them. However, I know the premise of what Donald Trump ran on. I know what happened during the Barack Obama era, the 8 years that he was president. I have nothing against Barack Obama. Um, however, I have nothing for. I feel nothing for Barack Obama. It was great for us to have a black president, but just like Tupac said, we wasn't ready to see a black president because at this point we still have no power, and so even if we have a black president, he still has to deal with. Let me restart it. I'm having a little issue with the streaming, so he still had to walk on eggshells. So he wasn't able to get things passed and do things that we felt that he was supposed to do for us. He did things for American people, period. And we just happened to reap some of the benefits of the things that he did for American people. Um, and all of this tolerance and stuff that's going on. Um, I'm not saying that people shouldn't be tolerated, but I'm saying it's certain things that are not good. That we're tolerating things that are not good, just trying to be nice people and trying to be accepting and open to everybody. But yet on the other end, we're not tolerating things that we may not accept or may not be so acceptable to people. Um, so there was a lot of things that happened over time, like the '60s, the '70s, the '80s, the '90s. Um, the thing with Bill Cosby, Russell Simmons, uh, Harvey Weinstein, all of that stuff. It was Yes, it was bad stuff, especially Harvey Weinstein. I'm just saying, Harvey Weinstein, crazy. But it was things that we were inside a system that we didn't know that we were inside. We were, a lot of people were inside a system that nobody knew that we were inside. Everybody thought it was cool to freaking drug women. A lot of people thought. I mean, a lot of people thought it was cool to do drugs, drug people, all of that stuff. If that's the case, if you did, you guys ever see The Hangover? Where the guys got freaking wasted, got a roofie, and didn't remember nothing that they did, and ended up going on this freaking adventure, and everybody loved the movie, but nobody got convicted, nobody got arrested, nobody, no, none of that stuff happened. Everybody just loved the movie. But then in real life, they want to arrest people. You know, people do that. People do that type of stuff, especially, I'm sure, especially in Hollywood. Where do you think roofies came from? Hollywood. Roofies came from just people, just the debauchery and people doing all type of crazy stuff. So, with all that said, we're in a system to where uh, a small minority are making rules for the majority, and these rules are taking from the majority and contributing to the small minority. And we're in that system, and there's really nothing we could do about it without power. And power comes from the government, and the government are ruled by the minority. So we're stuck in a situation to where we can't do anything about it unless we get out of that situation. So when people try to tell me to go vote, um, I don't want to participate. And I understand that, that you feel that you have some type of power when you have the power to vote. Uh, but voting without with no money it really doesn't give you power. It's just a vote. You just casting your vote. I still don't believe that it matters unless you have money or unless you can put money behind the candidate. I still believe that money rules a lot of stuff, especially in the world of evil. In the in Satan's kingdom, money rules. But overall, God God is over all things, and when you acknowledge God in all your ways, and you acknowledge God in everything that you do, for me personally, I don't feel that I should cast my vote for a man. If God was on the ballot, I'd vote. If God, I just want to serve God above all things. So I'm not getting any signal right now. I'm sorry if this thing is breaking up. I'm gonna work on fixing that, and I'll try to come back a little bit later. So I'm gonna end this video right now. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna work on getting this video fixed and uh, uh, being able to broadcast without all these errors. So I'll work on that, and thank you guys for checking me out. I'll be back later. I'll probably do this again a little bit later. So like, subscribe, leave a comment in the chat.